Good day everyone, my name is Xiaoyi Chen, matrix number 270016. I would like to present our group speech analysis on the 8-minute speech delivered by the current New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. First and foremost, the speaker attracts the attention and interest of the audience by stating the importance of speech in the beginning. From the transcript, the speaker stated the importance of the topic with the line, "I'm speaking directly to all New Zealanders today to give you as much certainty and clarity as we can as we fight COVID-19. We are experiencing an unprecedented event, a global pandemic that New Zealand has moved to fight by going hard and going early." From this statement, we can see that the speaker is working hard to ensure the audience are aware of the seriousness of the problem caused by the global pandemic that has spread to New Zealand and informs the audience that the newly released instructions. For the second question on how does the speaker establish her credibility, there are some examples to further elaborate on it. Before I make a discourse for the question, please allow me to explain the definition of credibility. So, what is credibility? According to Cambridge Dictionary, credibility is the fact that someone can be believed or trusted. And established credibility for a speaker can help in the speech conviction. According to Stephen E. Lucas, credibility is about the audience's opinion on whether the speaker is qualified to speak on a specific topic. In this speech context, there are two types of credibility are being used by speaker, which are initial credibility and terminal credibility. It is an added advantage for the speaker by using initial credibility with an identity as the Prime Minister of New Zealand. This is effective because the targeted audience of a speech are the New Zealand citizens. Besides, another credibility used is a terminal credibility. This can be identified when the speaker mentioned to the audience that she is also a mom aside from her identity as a national top officer. This has successfully helped the speaker to establish greater credibility as she placed herself under the same roof as her audience, the moms. This made the topic more relatable to the audience and made her more trustable in terms of knowledge and experience. There is a total of 4 main points in this speech, as the topic of the speech is about the alert system for COVID-19 in New Zealand. The main points are the alert level 1, alert level 2, 3 and 4. All 4 main points of speech are supported by evidence. Stephen Lucas mentioned that supporting materials are the materials used to supplement speakers' ideas. The 3 major supporting materials are examples, statistics and testimony. In the speech, the speaker uses a brief example as materials to support her main points. A brief example is an example that succinctly clarifies the ideas about and usually does not occupy more than 2 or 3 sentences in the speech. For example, the speaker says, "Already in New Zealand, we have warning system to try and get ahead of problems and hazards. We all know and recognize signs that tell us when we have fire risk or when to reduce our water use." As there may be some New Zealanders who do not know what that COVID-19 alert system is. Therefore, the speaker tried to describe the alert system for COVID-19 with examples familiar to the New Zealanders, such as the fire hazard and water warning system. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Leo Jinger, 270366, and I'll continue with the presentation for question 4 and 5. The speaker used the problem solution order when she delivered her speech. The problem solution order is a form of organizations where information in a paragraph is expressed as a dilemma and something that was, can be, or should be done to solve this issue. In her speech, she first mentioned how COVID-19, the identified problems, adversely affect all countries in the world, including New Zealand. Then, she moved to the second main point by announcing an alert system for COVID-19 in New Zealand as a solution to reduce the chances of the wave growing. Next, I'm going to talk about the resources of the language. Language is an important aspect of any speaker public speech. Speaking in an accurate, clear, vivid, appropriate, and inclusive language is a quality of a good speaker. In a video, the speaker uses the words that are familiar to the audience. For example, the speaker uses familiar words to mention who is at greater risk of contracting COVID-19 instead of complicated technical terms. The audience who have studied in pharmacy may find out the meaning of the technical terms while other audiences do not. Therefore, the speaker from the video speaks in plain and is easy to understand. Other than that, the speaker uses the language vividly. The 2 main ways to attract people through the speech are imagery and rhythm. Imagery allows the audience to imagine the image of the idea, and by doing so, the speaker from the video chooses to use concrete words over abstract words. For example, the speaker uses a lively way to ask all New Zealanders to support those in need, with some examples such as dropping off food and other supplies which able to pull us irresistibly into the speech. Also, the speaker uses rhythm to attract the audience. Rhythm is a movement in speech, marked by the accent, time, and number of syllables. The speaker used parallelism in her speech, which is known as a pair or series of related similar arranged words, phrases, or sentences. For instance, the speaker from the video uses parallelism by saying, "We are a country that is creative, practical, and community-minded," to guarantee the speech unity, consistency, clarity, and accuracy. Moreover, the speaker also used repetition in her speech. Repetition is when a word or phrase is repeated in a literally word more than once. Repetition can make a speech more memorable so that the audience will remember the significant part after the speech. That is for me. I'll pass to my next friend. Thank you.
Good day to everyone. I'm Dr. Lin, entry number 270930. Now I'm going to continue for question number 6 and 7. Firstly, we go through the connectives first. Connectives are generally known as words or phrases that connect speech ideas and indicate the relationship between them. Based on the video, the speaker uses 3 out of 4 of the connectives, which are transitions, internal previews, and signposts to deliver her speech effectively. First of all, transitions is words and phrases that enable the speaker to move smoothly from the previous point to another. Let's look at the example shown here. We can find that the speaker has done with the last point, alert level 2 previous measures, and now is wished to develop the new point, which is the newly released instructions at alert level 2. Now, we move to the next connective used in the video, which is internal previews. Internal previews will direct the listeners to the area that will be covered next. The example we show here, the listeners will know what comes first, which is the 4 levels to alert system, and what comes next, which is the things that the government wants the New Zealanders to do, and followed up by the things that the government will do too. So the listeners can draw a successful conclusion through this. Furthermore, the speaker also uses signposts as one of the connectives to deliver her speech. Signpost is a technique that shows a brief statement, pointing out the speaker's exact position in the speech. We can look at the example here. The word "finally" indicates that the speaker is going to talk about the last instruction that all the New Zealanders need to comply in the alert level 2. In our opinion, we can conclude that the speaker uses connectives effectively because the speech is well connected, as we as a listeners can receive the information accurately and follow the direction of the speech from the beginning to the end. Next, I'll be explaining the speaker's voice. Voice is matter for speakers because it can help to attract the interest of the listeners and ensure the speech is clear. Firstly, pitch is high and low the speaker's voice. For example, the speaker says, "Here's how we will know what to do and when." The speaker is clearly using a falling intonation. Next, the rate, which is the speaking speed used by the speaker. For example, the speaker slows down the rate when she wanted to emphasize important words such as "to slow down COVID-19." Furthermore, volume that used by the speaker is loud and clear. She also paused at a good timing, and she made no vocalized pauses such as or appear during the speech, so there is no interfere with listening. Vocal variety also used by the speaker. For instance, the speaker uses the rate of the sentences by slowing down at the word higher and using picking intonation, which is the higher pitch followed by a lower pitch, and she also speaks in clear and loud volume. The speaker also good at articulation. For example, the speaker says "going to" instead of "gonna" and "give you" instead of "give you." Lastly, dialect also used by the speaker. The word "e" is being elongated by "I." The speaker pronounced especially to especially. This shows the New Zealand accent. That's all for my part. I will pass to the next speaker. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. I am 270959 Akbar Muhammad bin Daud. Today I would like to talk about question 8 and 9. Okay. Firstly, speakers generate a lot of emotion and interest using nonverbal communication, which often called body language. Alright, body language. Body language refer to non-verbal communication through physical action, experience, and gesture, usually instinctively rather than consciously. When a person interacts with others, he or she will constantly send a receive worthless signal and the same goes to the speaker. The body of the speaker can be an effective look for emphasizing and explaining the word that used while increasing their certainty and enthusiasm. Okay, the main aspect of a speaker body, such as a personal appearance, movement, gestures, and eye contact, will affect the speaker's speech result. By watching the video, we can identify that the speaker have mastered both aspects, such as personal appearance and eye contact. Okay, first and foremost, personal appearance is an often overlooked part of public speaking skill. When a speaker walks onto the stage to prepare a speech, the audience will subconsciously judge the speaker based on what they see. Okay, the speaker from the video use a causal reasoning is a kind of reasoning that establishes a relationship between cause and effect. In her speech, COVID-19, the global pandemic, is the main cause that led to the closed border of New Zealand. She established that causal relationship by saying, I would have seemed unimaginable to close New Zealand border to the world, and now it's been an obvious step as we fight COVID-19. The reasoning made by the speaker and not observed by correct. Besides, she also successfully combined each audience of her reasoning ability, which enabled two audience to solve the problem in more serious manners. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Wong Tong Quen, 270859, and I'll be talking about the questions 10 till 12. According to Elaine Badiou, motion is a system of movements that stood in the heart without the permission of the will, and that suddenly changes the color of our thoughts, which implies that our way of thinking can be influenced by our feelings. First, the emotions expressed by the speaker in the video are confidence, empathy, and pride. Confidence. The speaker explains the steps taken by the government, confirms the current updates, and gives assurance to the public that everything is under control. We are also able to see the speaker's confidence through her facial expression and her head movements throughout her speech. Example, the speaker mentions, here's how we will know what to do and when. Already in New Zealand, we have warning systems, and today I'm announcing an alert system for COVID-19. Next, empathy. The speaker asks the elderly people or those with weak immunity or underlying respiratory conditions to always stay at home. She also asks for their friends, family, and neighbors to support the older New Zealanders and the people who may be in this group. This statement gives the impression that the speaker cares for the audience and promotes that everyone should do their part in containing the situation. Lastly, pride. The speaker told her audience to do what they do so well, that they are a country that is creative, practical, and community-minded, and knowing how to rally and look after one another is important than ever. We know that the speaker is proud of where she comes from and the people there, and she wishes to attract the audience more by putting hope of if they stick to the local values, they can win this. Moving on to the closing remarks, the speaker chose to end her speech in a crescendo ending. Crescendo ending refers to the conclusion that the speech has reached its peak in strength and intensity. The speaker shared a few informative and inspirational sentences and also urged the audience to take care of themselves and the people around them. And finally, for the ending, the speaker reinforces her central ideas by summarizing the speech. For instance, The speaker told everyone to seek help or updates from the government through covid.gov.nz. She also reminded everyone about the alert systems, so please do stay tuned and they'll share the daily updates. The speaker reiterates the important parts of her speech, telling her audience to look out for updates and where to seek help. To conclude, the speaker made a meaningful, inspiring, and a comprehensive speech for her audience before ending her speech. Thank you.